There was. Did you even think back then, I'm going to start a label?
No, I had no intention of starting a record label. I just put the record out for myself, really. I had to call it something, so I called it Mute. But the funny thing is, I put my address. I looked at other records. I thought everybody puts their address on the back of the sleeve.
So you did it yourself as well.
And all of a sudden, I started to get demo tapes, as though I was a record label. I didn't really know what to do with them. It was kind of a strange thing. People thought, oh, it must be a record label. But I didn't feel like a record label. I just put out my own thing. But, and the single did, in a kind of very alternative way, did quite well. So I was able to sustain myself for a few months from it. I was able to give up my job. And then eventually, a friend of mine, a guy called Edwin Pouncey, he was a cartoonist, actually, for the NME, he introduced me to Fad Gadget. And I heard his demos, and I really liked them. I met Frank, who was Fad Gadget, and we got on really well, and we had a very similar vision and kind of similar kind of humor and ideas. And I really liked his songs, so I said, well, let's just put out a single.
Yeah, I mean...
so that, in a way, was the beginning of Mute, really, in a sense.
I mean, there have been so many great releases on Mute Records ever since the 70s. Can you say what have been the most important ones, in your opinion, or is every release as important?
I mean, it's very hard to say that, because I've got a very... I mean, of course, there were key moments in, I mean, almost everything is... In terms of importance of the record, they were all very important to me. I suppose, of course, the first Fad Gadget single, Back to Nature, was very important, because that's when I took the leap. I was actually responsible for somebody else's career. That's a big difference from being responsible for your own career. And I took it quite seriously, and then not of course, but soon after that, I started working with Deutsche Amerikanische Freundschaft.
Yeah, with Duff.
And the first album on Mute actually was a DAF album. And all those things are very important, And then starting to work with Depeche, again, that, clearly was a big change for Mute, because we were not a pop label, you know. And although I always loved pop music, we were kind of I guess you could call it an underground electronic label, whatever, working very much on the sidelines, not part of the mainstream. And then, Depeche, who I saw supporting Fad Gadget, they were the support group in a small pub in East London. And I just immediately thought they were amazing.
Yeah, and we have to talk about this, because that happened about 35 years ago. I've got some great footage for you to look as well. Okay. One of the first hits, actually, Depeche Mode. Yeah. Thank you so much. We'll be back in a few minutes. Gleich noch viel mehr mit Daniel Miller. Gleich die ganze Infos dazu, wie er Depeche Mode kennengelernt hat, wie er sie quasi entdeckt hat vor über 35 Jahren. Also definitiv heute bei uns bleiben, hier bei der Late Night. Bis gleich. Thank you.